Good morning, everybody. I'm Charlie Brookes, as it says. I'm the Director of Digital at Bauer Media. I'm going to build on some of the themes that Matt mentioned earlier. It's a very exciting time to be in audio, and as I run the digital division, I get to see all the innovation that's coming. We've also got a couple of new launches that we're going to announce today, so you get to hear them exclusively, a bit of wow factor. Going to do this quite quickly. There's going to be a lot to cover. I've got a limited amount of time, but if you want to know any more about this, you can always contact someone at Bauer and they will give you more information. So, our main aim here is to build audio ecosystems now. If you think about where our businesses start, broadcast is already a very lucky medium. Against a digital competitor, we've got people listening 30 seconds, in ear, nothing distracting people, and a 97% listen-through rate. If you're a digital display medium, your IAB standard for an ad is half a second in view of half an ad. So broadcast starts in a really, really great place. And a lot is changing very quickly. Distribution is changing. We at Bauer have got aggregated listening through Rayo, but also a lot of things are changing in car with OEMs leaning in, and some of the stuff that Matt mentioned about smart speakers. It's fascinating. You've also got the content is going beyond audio now. You've got video, we've got websites, and audio being distributed differently. It's fascinating, and that all then wraps up into the monetization. If you saw the IAB, they published their annual review on spend patterns. Digital audio revenue has increased 14%, which is faster than any of the average, which is about 8 or 9%. So the space is attracting more and more advertising dollars because the audiences are growing, and the engagement reach that was talked about in some of the earlier sessions are there already. So at Bauer, we look at a 360 view here, and there's a lot on this slide. Please don't feel you need to read it at all, but obviously we've talked about earlier session about how Bauer is in out-of-home, it's in publishing, and it's in digital audio. For me, in digital, it allows me to look at all of this and see how I can bring different component parts into what we push. And the main part of this is about the data. If you're reaching this many people in this many ways, you've got a really fascinating opportunity to aggregate huge amounts of information, but then target really specifically, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So audioXi is fundamentally, it's about that data I talked about. It's about making sure that we can get all of those signals, whether they're behavioral signals, contextual signals, mindset or attitudinal signals, get them in and really bring the audio listening to life and use that trust and engagement in brands. We build effectively, we're looking for that effectiveness, for that efficiency, the way of making sure that the advertising really resonates with someone. So we think a lot about how we can use ad technologies and how we can think about those audiences, the mood states they're in, what they're doing, what they're consuming, how they're consuming it, the difference between podcasts and streaming, even the difference between the device you're listening on, whether you're listening on your desktop, on your mobile, or on your smart speaker, you're probably listening differently. We've spent a lot of time understanding those moods and bringing them to life with commercial product. So here's how we do it. We've got a small division that works for me. We call them Bauer Data Intelligence. They're a bunch of very, very bright people, insights and data scientists. And what they're doing is pulling a lot of these signals together into different pieces of ad technology so that you can buy them in one place. First place we started was with the brands. Bauer has a publishing heritage. I don't know whether you can read those from where you are, but a lot of brands you may have heard of, whether it's Grazia or Parker's Car Buying Guide. All of those bits of context and content are brought in from the publishing division and then used in our audio business. We talked earlier about that brand safe environment, the trust that the guys were talking about with Mission Christmas. You can really see that when you've got this targeting and you've got the engaged audiences, you really get resonance. You get basically people engaging with those ads, and you're able to do so much more with the messaging. You don't need to put one message out to lots of people. You can think about how that messaging works. Digital allows you to take one-to-many advertising messages. The obvious one people talk about is things like the weather. But if you're thinking about mood states, even accents and regional accents, you can change the ads now with ad technology to try and make sure you understand who you're reaching and the message you want them to engage with. So we're reaching audiences, not brands, in the digital division. These are some of the audiences we create. It's worth saying that the people who create these audiences are actually people like you in the audience. We started with about 10 of them, and they've grown, usually because a client or an agency comes to us and says, could you do this? Could you achieve that? And we go away. I challenge the team to say, can you produce that audience? Can we see signals? And so it started with things that were fairly obvious and attached to money moments, whether it be finance, buying a car, becoming a parent for the first time. But gradually we started to move into particularly around mood states, around attitudes, the behavior you're enacting, and the way you might be feeling at the time changes the way you interact with an advert. And we're spending a lot of time on those products, which we'll talk about in a second. So, to bring that to life, obviously, so far, so good, Charlie. That all sounds very interesting. How does that really resonate? So I asked the team, I said, look, I'm going to be talking to people. I didn't want to just make about Manchester, from the Northwest. So we used the TGI definition of the Northwest and thought, okay, so if you were targeting that group of people, what would be different about them than the average? And you can see some of the stats up here. 5.4% more likely to engage with local content. I think that shows something about the passion of being in the regions and some of the stuff that was being talked about with B&M. But it talks about attitude and again, different types of behaviour. I don't know why. You'll have to comment on this in terms of the music. 5.3% more likely to be into country music and 3.2% more interested in rock. Again, what you do with that information is your business, but it shows you what can happen. 4.9% more likely to engage with their team, football team we mean here. Again, I won't mention any names, but clearly a lot of football fans up in the Northwest. And then finally, podcasting. I think we see this as well commercially. There's a real interest in podcasts up in this region. We see probably more discussions around podcasts and how you can engage with podcasts and their listeners up here. But also the listening seems to be prevalent up here for podcast listening, which is good because I'm about to tell you about a couple of new podcasts. We take all of this, and like I said, we talk about new products. So I thought I'd quickly, to bring Matt's points to life, show you some of the stuff that we can now do in what was traditionally a broadcast or audio business, and how it can expand and do really, really clever things. So again, because we have a publishing division, we can work on how audio ads can then work harder, how we can show the effectiveness of the ads. And we built a retargeting product. So simply put, if you follow the arrows on that screen, when your audio ad is played, we basically put a pixel there, and then when we see that individual again in Bauer's wider display estate, we can retarget them with a display ad. This clearly means that you'll get your 30 seconds of attracting, getting people interested in a product, maybe understanding some complex messaging, but then you can call them to action with display. We've done a few of these now, and you can see the stats there. It won't be a surprise, as you're a room of media professionals. If you put two medium together and move people through the decision funnel, they are more likely to make the decision you want, but we have the proof that it works. 6 times higher engagement and twice the click-through rate of just seeing the display ad on its own. So again, something that an audio business and a broadcast business might not have done in the past, but now with ad technologies, you can move people through that communication pattern. The next one we launched isn't a big white square. It's a product called Moments. I'm going to let the video play and then explain it to you in a second.
Audio reaches people in moments where other media can't. From commuting and working to exercising or winding down. And smarter data signals are allowing advertisers to engage audiences with personalized and contextually relevant messages. To help brands reach consumers in the right place at the right time, we've created audioXi Moments. Moments blends unique audience and contextual data from podcasts, playlists, radio listening, and gaming apps, unlocking targeted inventory from Bauer and trusted partners. Moments reach people across their daily routines and need states, whatever they're up to and wherever they are. Take our mindfulness moment, where relaxation playlists and radio shows are paired with relevant games and podcasts to create a reflective environment where brands can deepen engagement, build trust, and inspire action. audioXi Moments, amplifying the unique power of sound.
You might have noticed that was George's voice. Thanks, George. Again, I'm sure you can work out what that product is, but it came out of a discussion with an agency, again, who were talking about these mindsets and mood states, and we thought, actually, we can work this out based on the device people are listening to and the type of content they're listening to. We've also got their demographics, so we can tell you what type of person they are, but maybe reaching the right person in the right mood state or in the right frame of mind will further increase the likelihood of advertising working. And again, there were a couple of advertisers who particularly mentioned mood state when they gave us the brief. It's gone beyond targeting ABC ones 25 to 54. You're looking for them to do something or act a certain way or feel a certain way. So we put these together. Again, we can't go through them all there, but you saw how they work. They're all about trying to make sure that message is going to work as hard as it can when it reaches the individual that you want to hear that at. The other product that Matt mentioned was podcasts. Clearly, that Bauer has a big streaming business. It reaches 1.3 billion ad impressions a month across the streaming side of the business. And as we built these data products, there was increasingly a call to have more podcasts and at scale. And although Bauer has a number of really famous podcasts, and we're going to talk to you about 2 more today, we needed to build that out and build a network, and so we were looking for quality, trusted audiences that we could provide at scale. Again, I'm going to let the video do the hard work.
What you're about to learn today is going to change everything that you think about him.
Welcome to Smart Lab.
You know what? Now I'm going to do it.
Exciting news. There's a new podcast.
Not George's voice. So again, if you didn't catch that, this is us scaling very quickly. We built this and launched it in February, so it's brand new. It takes 3 types of podcasts and brings them together, so we can provide a scaled solution across pretty much any genre or vertical. There are 4,500 podcasts in this network to give you some idea of the scale we're talking about. There's Bauer Originals, Gorka. They work out of the Manchester office, so they record Lost in Translation. Catherine Ryan, we've got Pete Wicks does podcasts for us. There's a number of Bauer Originals. We then work with partners as well, people who maybe produce a podcast on their own, but can use Bauer's scale to help them market and monetize. That's Nip Tuck there. There's Gabby Roslin's podcast, Simon Mayo's podcasts are partners of us. And then the third-party network. I don't know how many of your podcast listeners, there's some massive names in there. Mel Robbins' podcast from the States has 1 million UK downloads every single month. There's also some big networks. The Sports Social Network is in there with Joe Marler and a lot of the football podcasts, and then some of the political and satire from Q Code. So again, we're looking to make sure we've got the data is still there, the reach is still there. It's about 11 million people listen to these podcasts a month, so it's huge scale. And again, it's all about the genres. It's making sure that we've got the genres covered that people might be thinking about their audiences from. So let me just get this. The clicker going to give me. So we've got 2 new podcasts to launch into that Bauer owned and operated. We're announcing them here. I think it'll be formally announced in PR later, but you get to hear this first. So Bauer's very keen to make sure it keeps adding to its own podcast. So Tim Campbell, I don't know whether any of you know Tim Campbell, first winner of The Apprentice in 2006, and one of the advisors to Lord Sugar on the show at the moment. He's producing a podcast called Reworking. This will be out on the 11th of May, and basically designed to target people who are looking for work, finance, and general advice whilst keeping your life on track. He's got all sorts of people coming in, from people like Alistair Campbell to Mike Suter, mainly entrepreneurs and people to give advice, which he wished he'd had maybe when he started out. He's a very enigmatic man, very interesting to listen to. And like I say, those will be starting on the 11th of May, so that's a really interesting podcast. The next one is going to start, I'm going to let a video, they've decided to do a video for you especially, so watch this.
Hi, tuning in North,
Yo.
it's Molly and Tyler.
Yeah, and we are so excited to announce the news of our brand new podcast, The Prenup. Yeah?
Look, we all know marriage is hard and staying married is even harder.
But we're not married yet, so we wouldn't know that married life is hard until we've then
From
gone
what
into
I've
married life.
seen, it looks
Give
pretty
us-
hard.
We'll go with that. We'll go with that.
Each week we'll be tackling some opinion-splitting topics.
Yes.
Of modern life and exploring our do's and don'ts of married life.
Yeah, and then that goes into the prenup, and then that's the sort of split decision whether or not we get married or not.
Oh, is it?
I mean, well, I don't know. This may be the best or worst decision we've ever made in our whole entire life.
It's not legally binding.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. We're so excited for the first episode. It launches on June the 11th. We're going to go prepare for that.
Yeah.
Charlie, back to you.
See ya.
I don't know whether you caught that. It's a very brave podcast. Molly Rainford and Tyler West are engaged, but they're going to talk every week now until they get married about a subject matter. They're going to get friends in. They're going to talk about the issues of the day and relationship advice generally. Whether or not they get married or not, it's not legally binding. Molly keeps saying it's not legally binding. It's not legally binding, but that should be a bit of fun. And again, is about an original podcast that will start on the 11th of June. So look forward to hearing that. So in summary then, and I know it's been a bit of a whistle-stop tour, ultimately audioXi is part of a bigger digital infrastructure in Bauer, where we're looking to drive innovation, trying to keep the very success and heart of a successful broadcast business and see what else we can do with it, see how we can engage with more users, see how we can use the devices they hear on, the content they're creating, and create targeted advertising opportunities for the good people in this room and their customers to make sure we've got quality scaled inventory so you can buy all of this at scale. There is no point having very clever audiences where you can only reach a small number of people. So this is now massive. Using smart data intelligence, that's pretty much at the heart of what we do at Bauer. It's having all of those signals that come from being a massive media owner. Podcast opportunities seems to be a big place. A lot of our podcasts now are video first, and that area is where we're seeing a lot of engagement from new audiences. About 50% of some of our podcasts are new to us. We're not seeing them elsewhere in our ecosystem, so expanding podcasts is really important. It's bringing people into that listening experience. And then creating creative retargeting opportunities, that the other signals that might be going on around. Like I said, whether it's the weather, whether it's the region somebody lives in, or whether it's just changing the creative and using different voices to try and get more traction from the ad. All of that is enabled now with smarter ad technologies and at scale. So I hope that's been useful, giving you some context to what Matt was talking about earlier about the opportunities within digital audio. And if you want to know any more, please ask me or anybody else at Bauer. Thank you for your time.